Hi Fit Yoga Mamas, and welcome to week 13. You're officially in your second trimester, so congratulations, you have made it a third of the way through. This week we're going to talk about modifying your practice if you are in a yoga class. So if you're taking a studio yoga class, a gym yoga class, and there's going to be a point in the yoga class, if it's not specifically geared toward prenatal or pregnancy, where the teacher is going to have the students all lay on their bellies or start to do some abdominal work. So having some options that you can go to, not just kind of sit there confused and waiting to go on to the next thing, is what this video is all about. So you're not going to need any props today. First thing, anytime that the teacher has the students lay on their bellies and start to do a back bend, so like cobra pose, or shalabhasana, so locust pose. It's kind of like a Superman in fitness class. The best thing to do, that I like to do, is just sit back on your knees, buttocks dropping toward your heels, back nice and straight. You want to really watch this arch. This is easy for us to get into because we have so much weight in the front. So pull it down and think length going up instead of pushing forward. So finding that length, I take my hands behind me, clasp the palms, and pull the knuckles down toward the floor, releasing the shoulders and releasing the trapezius down away from the ears. From here, I like to kind of roll my neck, tuck my chin first, maybe take my gaze up to the ceiling gently. Again, always being mindful of the lower back. So this is my option for Shalabhasana, for Cobra, or Bhujangasana. I come here, I stretch out, I still get opening and a little bit of back bend, and then I open across my collarbone. Another great option here is to come onto all fours, and like you know it and love it, cat and cow pose. So if they're working in low cobra for a while, or Shalabhasana, I like to just take it to an inhale, stretch the belly, and exhale, get the head heavy, roll the hips under. So just on your own, it's a nice relaxing way to connect with the breath and connect with baby. Another option here, since you'll be on your knees, is just to kind of wag back and forth, side to side, really lengthen through the side waist. If you're in a flow class, a great option for that is to take out the chaturanga by lowering your knees and move into a cat and cow pose. So we're going to do that next. Coming to the top of your mat. For our flow classes, our vinyasa classes, you inhale, take your arms up, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, heart forward, Ardha. Exhale, release, and you can step all the way back to plank or just come straight to your knees. On their exhale, go ahead and you can, in the exhale, you lower your knees, and then on the inhale, look forward, gaze forward, and on the exhale, when they move back to downward facing dog, curl your toes and push back to downward facing dog. Teacher will usually give you a few breaths here. Look forward at your hands, step both feet forward again. No jumping at this point. Inhale, look forward, gaze forward. Exhale, release. And then reverse, come all the way up to stand. Let's try that one more time. Hands close down to the heart. Moving with the breath. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hip, keeping the spine long. Inhale. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release, and step back to plank or lower your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release, curl the toes, back to downward facing dog. Looking forward at the hands, take both feet all the way up to your knees, all the way up to your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. And reverse, come up to stand. Hands down to your heart. So you can see that It's still going to build some heat for your practice, but it's taking out the component where you may be laying down on your belly or going into too much of an upward facing dog as you start to get bigger and bigger. Right now, I'm halfway through, or a little bit into my second trimester, and upward facing dog still feels really great to me, but I've been practicing upward facing dog for quite some time. So if you don't have a regular yoga practice yet, or you're starting to build up, pregnancy is not the time to try something new. So I highly suggest just taking your knees down, working on the inhale with a little bit of the back bend, just like we just practiced. Also, another point in class, your teacher may have the class do abdominal work. For this, just come onto your back, and really you can do anything you like here that feels good to you. So sometimes I just take my knees in, keeping space for baby, rock side to side. Or I'll play with that and pull one knee into my chest, extend the other leg out. Switching sides when I feel nice and released. Or I take my feet wide out to the edges of my mat, reach my arms up and overhead, and then drop both knees to the right. Feeling the stretch through my abdomen, really trying to keep both shoulders on the mat and release the left knee down toward the mat. You'll feel it in your quadricep as well, which is great. And you do the same thing, readjust, come over to the other side, and drop both knees to the left. Another stretch that I am a big fan of is crossing one knee in front of the other, and then starting to reach down for your shins and pulling them in slightly. This helps lengthen the hips. This is one of those poses that you can probably do right now, but as you start to get bigger and bigger, it's not going to be available to you. If you've noticed with your belly growing, sometimes it's not really comfortable to sit cross-legged. It's the same thing here. Other than that, when you are in this pose, you can take your feet together and then drop your knees out to the side. And just use this time as a little bit of relaxation to connect with your breath, connect with the baby, and just let the class work it out, sweat it out. You'll do plenty of abdominal work once you've had your baby. So those are my recommendations. I hope that this gives you a little bit of something to do and that you still feel confident and prepared when you go into a yoga class that is not geared specifically toward prenatal practice. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. This so far has been what's been working for me. So I hope you have a great day, yogis. Until next week, namaste.